Welcome to Like Mother, Like Murder. I am Rachel.
And I'm Heather.
We bring you the good,
The badass,
and the crime.
This is Like Mother, Like Murder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Like Mother, Like Murder. Rachel here, all by myself. This week's episode, we miss our favorite podcast host, Heather, as I give her the week off because of a little something I had been wanting to do. So today's episode is a little different than the norm. Here on Like Mother, Like Murder, our slogan is the good, the badass, and the crime. And today we get into the badass because I have two of my amazing badass mom friends joining me on the mic. Now, with that said, I have to sincerely, with my entire being, apologize for the audio quality of this episode. Heather and I remote record as we live in different states. So me and my friends were working with one computer and one mic. So therefore, the audio is not podcast quality, but I can assure you it's a good time. I titled this episode Wild Kentucky and made it specifically for these two. We get into some really great conversations from crazy Kentucky laws, local hauntings, whether or not we believe in aliens, any encounters we have had before, and then we get into some cryptids that Onita thinks are so cute. So first and foremost, thank you to my two amazing friends for joining me on this episode, Becky and Onita. I love you guys so much. And for everyone else, I hope that you enjoy this lighthearted, very, very chaotic, fun-filled, laughing, constantly crazy nonsense that is about to come your way. I'll just say I'm sitting here with two of my friends.
Okay.
I'm so excited. I've been doing this I have been waiting for this for so long because we talked about it like a month ago at this point. Like,
It's
where I was like,
longer
I'm going to
than
make it, probably,
Yeah.
right? And you guys are here. I'm with my friend Onita and Becky. So, Onita, will you introduce yourself real quick? Tell a little bit about yourself.
Oh, we on right now?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was like, I'm just going to go.
First.
Your preparing was our shot that we took earlier.
Okay. Well, hello. I'm Onita. And I am a stay away from home mom with 25 gigs on the side.
Yes. That she is.
Yeah.
What about you, Becky? We also have Becky here.
Hi. I'm Becky, stay-at-home mom with 0 gigs on the side.
0 gigs. That motherhood is jobs enough.
Bro.
You say 0 gigs. There's 100 gigs within the stay-at-home in general.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
For sure.
It's a life.
It's a life. Well, I'm excited you guys are here. So we know each other from our kids being in things together. Honestly,
Yeah,
I
all the
couldn't
same
drama.
age. Yeah.
What'd you say?
Dance, drama.
Oh, drama. Dance
Yeah.
and drama. I was like, they weren't in drama, but you meant theater. I meant the drama that our kids
Right.
have.
I was getting
On a daily
I thought so
basis.
too, but then it took a minute for me to click.
I was
I
like,
didn't
you-
get Chloe in the drama.
You should.
I really should.
It's a good time, but it's also chaotic. I mean, when you see like certain kids, like my neighbor who has completely, like her life changed doing it. It's amazing. Olivia,
Yeah.
like she
Oh, yeah.
is in like 7 shows at a time. She
Yeah.
lives there. It's
It brought
beautiful.
her out of her shell.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. I can
Yeah.
agree with that.
And it's like you have to have that responsibility
Yeah.
to learn your lines, to
That's
get up
right.
there, and it's like a confidence booster. So
Yeah.
I highly recommend.
Yeah.
We are drinking margaritas.
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
drinking just a regular, like, margarita on the rocks, like a lime tequila margarita. We also did take a shot before this. You guys are drinking. She's
You
currently
are
drinking.
spilling all the tea about.
I'm not allowed to say that? Oh, you guys, hold on. Let me cut that real fast.
We're drinking bougie drinks.
She
over
said
here.
we
She
took
is
a shot
bougie
before this.
margaritas.
Like, okay.
They know. They know. They're like, duh, why do you even tell us? We already know. But you have, what's
Mango
the title of yours?
chili.
Mango chili.
Chile.
Chile.
Same.
Chile is a place. Chili is what's in your drink. Oh man, here we go. Oh. Actually, cheers. Thank you guys
Cheers.
for joining me on this. You guys, today
Thanks
is
for
going to be
having us.
fun. This is not the typical Momcast episode where it's heavy and painful. This is a lot more upbeat and friendly. That's why I have my friends here, you guys.
Yeah.
My heart is so
Mhm.
full right now, sitting two of my favorite people.
I'm so
And
excited.
This episode I actually titled Wild Kentucky,
Oh.
and I have beads for you guys
That's
to
what
take
we
your.
hear.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Take both legs. So
Oh.
the first thing that we are going to be getting into on here is bizarre laws that only Kentucky has.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know any crazy laws before I get into this? I feel like
No.
I feel like I need to know. I should know. That's right.
what laws were created because of you is the better question.
Right. I don't know.
I wonder
I'm
how
sure
many of
there's
those I
something.
Oh,
broke.
This first one. So the first one, it's actually, we're going to start off with a bang, literally. So maybe you broke this one. But in London, Kentucky, it is illegal to engage in sexual activities on a parked motorcycle.
Oh, I've definitely not done that.
You haven't done that?
No.
Right. But isn't that bizarre? Why would that need to become a law? Is the thing. And that's what this whole list is.
Because
It's stuff that
way
you're
too
just
many people were fucking on motorcycles
Seriously.
in public.
Yeah.
Damn,
Must
London
been
be great.
pretty prevalent.
Have you been to London?
No.
Mm.
I've been to London to go to Adventure Pets, which is, you guys, so sadly no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
So sadly, it was taken in the tornado recently.
Hmm.
Pretty tragic.
I've never been there.
You've never been there?
No, but we went to the flea
What?
market all the time.
Are you
Oh.
even from Kentucky? I know
Right?
you're not from Kentucky.
No,
But the
You're
real
not?
thing I was about to say is, do you even live here? Because
Oh.
I know you're not from Kentucky.
No, not from here.
Yeah.
No, I'm from Florida.
Oh, really?
I was born in Orlando.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, well.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
the next one, you guys. In Kentucky, it is illegal to go fishing with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Never done that. And honestly, the water is so murky. I don't know how you.
I mean,
I
you'd
wouldn't
have to
even
be
see
a really
anything.
good shot if you could kill a fish with a bow and arrow.
Or
That makes me want to do
really
it.
nice.
It makes me want to do it.
You
Yeah.
can't. But some of these ponds and stuff, you can't even
You
see.
can't see. The one that we were in yesterday, we can see.
Yeah, but you ain't gonna. There ain't no big fish.
There were no fish in the one we were
There ain't
in.
no big fish up in there.
That's true. That's
Now,
true.
if you could hit it with one of those little small fish with a bow and arrow in that, then yeah, you're a really good shot.
I
But
just think it's wild. This one I think is really funny because both of you guys will laugh at the fact that no man will ever tell you guys what to do.
That's right.
So this is the funny part. In Owensboro, you are not allowed to buy a hat.
Hat. And wear it without your husband.
Yes. See,
I
told you she
know.
would know something.
What?
Wait,
already know that.
wait, what?
Mhm.
Say that again.
In Owensboro, Kentucky, you cannot buy a hat and wear it without the permission
From
your husband.
I call bullshit.
Bullshit.
How old is
Mhm.
that? Well,
No, this is actually a law that is today.
Oh,
I fact
really?
checked. This is today. Some of the ones, because I had to go and see what was current.
Yeah.
But right now, you cannot buy a hat
Really?
without your husband telling you yes.
I wear all
Owensboro.
of Sean's hats.
Oh.
Like 90%, other than my mama hat, my pink mama hat. Other than that hat, all the hats I wear are Sean's.
I think it's more of I'm trying to think of what hats. I think maybe it was an expense type thing. Maybe
It
they didn't
was,
want you going out there and buying Kentucky Derby stuff. Those things are.
I'm not sure.
I mean, I bought Kenzie for this Kentucky Derby. We went to Keeneland, so we weren't even at Churchill where the Derby is held.
Yeah.
At Keeneland's, they sell fancy hats.
Yeah.
I can't afford. That is for damn sure. But they had these little clips with just a fuzz.
What's
Right.
it
I
called?
swear, no, not even. It didn't even have a name. It was called Clip with Buzz. Okay. $14 I paid for this nasty little thing. She lost it, but
She lost it.
Seems about right.
exactly.
That's funny. No,
Okay.
I did not know that one. Apparently you
I
did
knew.
know.
That's fine. So I wonder
How
if
much
there's
time
any
have
more.
you spent in Owensboro?
No,
It's
I
law.
think it was a law like, I don't know if it was always in Kentucky, but it is an odor law
Yeah.
from a long time ago.
And there are some that I found that have been either kind of like debunked or look, I just looked over like, did I press record? You guys, I would have freaked out.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God we are recording. But like some of them, there was one that anyone wearing a bikini had to be escorted by the police. And that one, it used to be a law and it's no longer a law. So like stuff like that was there. So another one is you cannot dye chicks, ducklings, or baby bunnies the color blue in Kentucky.
Oh, well, that's weird.
And there's really no reason.
That's so
But this is a
dumb.
bluegrass state.
Exactly. Like
They should be allowed
specifically the
blue
color
ducks.
blue.
Yeah,
If you were
and
going to dye it
Kentucky
anything,
is blue.
Right.
that's what I'm saying. If you're going to dye it any color, wouldn't it be that color?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
That's crazy.
Okay. This one is dedicated to me today.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Each citizen of Kentucky is required to shower once a year.
I'm good then.
You have your once a year shower. No, she washes her hair once a year.
Nah, once a month.
Once a month.
Close.
I don't know how you do that. No, the gym kicked my butt today, and the fact that I smelled god awful
Girl,
made me
you're
think
just
of
gonna
this.
have to take a baby wipe and wipe your armpits.
No, I needed to leave the gym immediately, come home and shower. I have never smelled myself the way that I smelled today.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
Who
I
came
gotta
up with
go. These laws?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
So
who
some of
has
them-
time to just sit around and come up with dumb shit like this?
There has to be reasons.
Yeah.
There has to be reasons that these are in place. And I didn't go
No, I
searching
didn't
for
know.
those reasons, you guys. I have a couple more though. And this is another one that is speaking to the three of us.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
This is a drunk in public one. Okay.
Oh.
This is anyone who has been drinking is deemed sober. So you are sober
Okay.
until you can no longer hold on to the ground.
Oh, we got this in the bag.
What you mean?
Yes.
So the next time
Take
oh, you're gonna be like drunk in public, you're like, no, I'll be holding this ground. Like I'm fine.
Yeah, that's
Got
right.
this. Me and this
Right.
brown got this.
Do you guys remember like this is forever ago? It's like the
Peanut by the tree. No, I don't remember that at all.
that's an everyday occurrence. How do you not remember that one? The
It happens though.
I'm not there every day.
no, that was in the snow. That was even more
That was
talent. You guys
crazy.
peed by the tree in the snow.
In
No.
public.
What's the four comedians? Like the redneck comedians that did the four of them that were
Jeff
together.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so one of them,
Ron White.
yes, him.
I got two.
Jeff
One of
Foxworthy.
One of
I
his
said that.
skits was the fact that he always said, he was like, I wasn't drunk in public, I was thrown into public. And this makes me think of this, like, you wouldn't have been drunk in public, Ron White, if you could have grabbed the ground.
Mm.
No, was he drunk?
No, I don't. That doesn't make sense to me.
That he was saying he was drunk in the bar, and then they threw him out. So he's like, I wasn't drunk in public, and they're giving him that
But
law.
the bar is public.
Mm.
So, you know what? We're not going to dive into that. I'm going to shut up.
It's all right. It's all right. Look, you're just trying to justify the fact that we're drunk in public way too often, probably. Okay.
She don't
want
get in
turn my
trouble.
page.
That's why she's like, I'm
Probably.
gonna hush up because
He ain't with me every time.
This is only in Kentucky. A woman can only marry the same man 3 times.
I have heard something like that.
Why? Why?
Well, you know, this is the Bible Belt, okay, and we do stuff like that, okay.
Tell me why, Bible
I
Belt.
just don't know. It's
Well,
just
because, like-
old Appalachia tradition.
Yeah.
They
So
really
is
believe
it the
in people
renewal
staying
of
together.
vows? Is that
Well, no,
No, they're
because
getting like divorce and remarry.
it's biblical. It's biblical. Really?
you explain it
Because
while I take a
divorce-
drink?
Well,
sis.
you're supposed to-
is frowned upon.
Yes, you're supposed to be staying married to the same person
right.
all the time. So I guess they think, well, if you're going to get remarried again, it needs to be marrying the same person.
But only
So
3
they'll-
times. Why would if that was the case and it was such a religious thing? Wouldn't you be able to marry him anytime you want because the Bible says
Right.
so?
No, I think it's because. Well, shit, y'all should.
She got us.
You all should not be getting married, divorced,
I agree.
married, divorced to the same person so many times.
Did you learn your lesson the first two times?
I thought that was crazy because, I mean, I didn't look at it the way that you were explaining it of
Yeah.
people wanting to say it just that way of, I don't even remember. What did I say? Whatever I said was smart 3 minutes ago, but it's gone. It's out. The thought is gone. What was that? I just said, I don't know, you guys. We're going to move right along. Fucking Becky. Don't call me out. I can grab the ground still. I'm going to need you to chill out. Okay.
I could crab walk.
I have 3 more of these before we move on to the next thing. So, in Franklin County, you are not allowed to trade horses after dark.
Horses can't see after dark.
So, it's the horses.
It's
the horses problem?
Oh, I don't know. I was like, wow, she knows something I don't know.
That's what I was like. Is that why? Because
I don't know.
There were like certain things on different, when I was trying to like fact check it, there were certain kind of like statements saying that some people got cheated out because it was dark. They didn't really see what they were getting.
Yeah.
And
I think,
therefore,
that would make sense.
I think also, too, they can maybe, someone could come and
hijack
the
situation.
Yeah, that's right, and steal your horse. And then there you are in the woods, and you're going to have to crawl back.
That's a problem.
Honey, only evil comes out at night.
Yeah, my granny always said you don't go out past 10 o'clock.
Ain't nothing good
Your
coming
granny
out
said
at
that?
dark.
I said
I don't know, I just made that up. Somebody did.
Ain't nothing good coming out after dark.
My mom,
That's what my friend's granny said. Nothing good happens past 10 o'clock.
the freaks come out at night.
You know,
That's the California saying.
Really?
That's true.
I believe it.
That's weird.
My mom always talks about the fact that I have put myself to bed at 8:30 my whole life.
Oh, really?
So there is for sure I'm not buying horses after dark.
No.
Well, you hung out with me.
I mean, I probably would go out and buy a horse after dark because I'm always doing stuff
Absolutely would.
right at bedtime.
that she found on Facebook Marketplace.
That's right. That's when I do my best business is at bedtime.
That's your golden hour. That's what that means is that hour, like, that is the most productive is Onita's nighttime.
Ain't
like,
that the truth?
Yeah.
I mean, I swear to my gosh, I'm telling you, earlier this week I was going through the house with a caulking gun. It's like 9:30 at night. And my husband's like, what are you doing with that? And I'm like, duh, I got to caulk the bathtub.
Yeah.
It's like, at bedtime? I'm like, yeah.
When else is it going
When the notion strikes.
He's going to complain, and there's going to be a law that says no caulking after 9.
If I'm
I'm like, caulking or caulking? And then it's like, which word are you
He's
saying?
probably going to go down and make the law right now. He's going to hear this. He's going to be inspired. He's going to go down there.
I have this kind of like goes in with the horses, but in Kentucky, you can't walk around with an ice cream cone in your back pocket.
That's right.
Why?
That's dumb as so much shit.
First of all, why would
Because
you?
it's going to melt in your britches.
No, that ain't even
I don't
why.
know.
Because
a kid
horse
or
thieves used to put them in their back pocket and
Oh.
walk away to try to lure the horse and take the horse.
Shut
Yes.
up.
Yeah.
See, this is why you can't trade horses
Exactly.
after dark.
Because they all have
Told
ice
you.
cream cones in their pockets.
So those two coincide
They
with
do.
each other.
Mm-hmm. Makes a lot of sense.
None of us have horses. How do we live in Kentucky and
You know,
3 of us don't have horses?
I've lived here. Oh, I have
Yeah.
owned a horse in my lifetime here.
Yeah, my grannies have mules and stuff. My papa was a moonshiner.
A mule, and it's not a horse.
That's right. It's something else that you ride through the hillside, through the hollers.
A holler. You don't want to go back to like episode 30 where I was like new to Kentucky and I was just like talking about a holler.
You better not have said hollow.
No.
Okay,
No.
that's what people say.
I thought she said nude.
That's how they nude.
I was nude
That's what
in
I
the
thought you
holler
said. No,
on my horse that night that I sold it to the man at the snow cone. The ice cream cone.
I thought you said when I was nude to Kentucky, and I was like, what kind of crazy
Yeah.
shit?
Would you be surprised?
No.
I didn't think so.
Mm-mm.
All right, the last one. This kind of like whatever, but it's
I have a
illegal.
fun one for you.
Oh, I can't wait! So excited.
I don't know all the details of it, but Sean tells me all the time.
Oh, I
Carry
love
on.
it. This one is, it's illegal to throw things such as eggs or flowers at a public speaker in Kentucky. You can't throw things. I mean, you shouldn't do that in any state. I want to make that very clear. But eggs or flowers, like, you cannot throw things at public speakers. So.
What about maters?
What about bras?
Yeah.
Well, didn't somebody get, like, hit in the head? Not in Kentucky, but there was a singer that got, like, hit in the head with a cell phone.
Oh yeah. I saw that video, but I cannot for the life of me think who it was. Okay, tell me, what does Sean tell you?
There's, like, the rule of thumb. So, like, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's like, if you take your wife to the courthouse steps and you have, like, a stick that is no bigger than your thumb, you can beat your wife.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what you gonna keep on mind?
No.
I don't know if that's a fact. Like, I don't know if that's
What
like
do you mean you don't know if that's a fact?
I don't know if it's like
I have heard
a
that.
to-date
I
rule.
have heard that.
It could be like an
And
outlaw rule
I
by
think
now.
really
It
though,
was a thing.
it is
It has-
accommodated with.
It has been a
Yeah.
thing, yeah. Like, you
It's
can take your
associated
wife to
with
the
it.
courthouse steps, and as long as you have a stick that's no bigger than the thickness of your thumb, you can beat your wife on the courthouse steps.
And I joke when I say keeping her in line, but back in the old days, they actually did
They
that.
actually did do that.
I'm
So I don't know how
Yeah.
I don't know how relevant that is, but yes, Sean's told me that a couple of times. I was like, I'd like to see you take me to the courthouse.
Look.
steps.
So now that we're done with that, we are going to talk about some of Kentucky's most haunted and spookiest places.
Okay.
And I only brought a few because, honestly, I was shocked when I was looking up these lists to, like, bring stuff at how many places. It was like, list of 18, list of 24, list of this. And I'm just like...
I'm curious to see if one that I have kind of experienced is on your list.
Well, what I will say is I only brought a few because I wanted to leave that section open for
Yeah.
conversation.
Right.
Not only for us to talk about the places, but then
Yeah.
also, Onita, I know that you've had a couple experiences yourself. And Becky, I don't know if you have, but
We're
if
about
you
to
have one,
find out.
look, let's go. So the first one, which is definitely, I feel like, the most known one in Kentucky is Waverly. So Waverly Hills Sanatorium. That is the one that I feel like every single paranormal,
Yeah, no, people flock.
ghost hunting,
Yeah.
anyone wants to go to. A lot of my friends that I podcast with or talk to have talked about coming out here and doing a trip there as well. So that might happen. But just a little bit about it. That was opened in 1910, which doesn't seem long ago. Like, that long.
No.
Like, I feel like it should say, like, 1700s or something.
Yeah.
But it was victims of the tuberculosis epidemic. I know words, thank you. There has been over 6,300 deaths at Waverly.
Really?
6,300.
Wait, 6300?
Zero.
Post sanitary.
63,000.
Did I say that?
You said 6,300.
Slap me. I was waiting for you guys. I was like, if she couldn't do it, I kind of had that. She saw the fear of God in my eyes just now. 63,000. Thank you. This is 0, 0, 0. I'm just gonna read this, like, portion of it. She is from a holler.
So I can make the jokes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's allowed. I'm not.
Yeah.
She is.
I love Hollywood.
I do it anyways. Those 63,000 deaths included patients, doctors, nurses, and staff. Some died of the disease, others committed suicide. There were so many deaths, they took the dead out through a tunnel that was deemed the death tunnel.
Oh, I have heard that.
Yeah, that's creepy as hell.
I wonder how the doctors and the nurses and people died. Like, at the hands
Getting
of
each
somebody
other,
else.
like getting each other, or maybe there were the ones that were ultimately committing suicide at that point. Like, if it got so bad that
I mean, it's probably across a couple months.
at Waverly, ghosts seem to wander every inch of this building. Waverly has been the focus of several different, like I mentioned in the beginning, like so many people, Zach Baggins, whatever, like the main people who do paranormal investigations or stuff like that, ghost hunter series, stuff like that. Everyone has gone there. They stay there. You can like rent these buildings out
Oh, yeah.
overnight, or you can like stay. And I'm like,
Yeah,
why?
you can pay like X amount of dollars and go for a tour to stay the night there.
Yeah.
I don't know how much sleeping you'll be doing though.
So I did tell a group of friends that I would go with them
Really?
if they came out here and did it. So Alicia, if you are coming,
Mm.
yeah, there's a really like
Rachel's gonna go with you.
Yeah.
Well,
and
we are
we
gonna
will
stay
be
here.
waiting for you to get back. We'll have breakfast. on the
We'll
table.
hear about it.
yeah. So that one's crazy. That's like the most known one
Have you
here
ever
in
been?
Kentucky.
No.
And obviously you've never been.
No. And Joel, so he had told me how when he was flying one time, they flew over it and they had to land like somewhere near it when he was doing like a helicopter or something. And he was like, it is huge.
Yeah.
It is
I
freaking
bet.
huge.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, we got to get there. We got to get there. And I'm just like, yeah, sure.
Do you know anybody that's ever been?
No.
Okay. So you don't have any stories?
Not about that.
Not about that.
But I mean, I worked at Eastern State Hospital. And
Yeah.
there's always haunting tales, but I personally don't know any about that.
Gotcha.
At Eastern
Unfortunately.
State?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I got a couple more, and then we're going to get into whatever stories you guys can bring. But another one that is known, because this I wanted to bring things people might have heard of.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot that are on lists that maybe because we live in Kentucky,
We might know.
we
more,
might know the
yeah.
cities or whatever. But Mammoth Caves National Park is also believed to be haunted.
Shut up.
It was believed to have 4,000, it was 4,000 years old, and it had Native Americans that they mined the caves, and they would
Yeah.
bury all of their dead inside of the caves. And
Mm.
so it's rumored that it's haunted by all of those, and that the people who go down, have you guys been there? When
I
you
have.
go down
No.
in there, you can hear the screams, like
Okay, I
people
didn't hear
screaming
that.
of terror and rocks being thrown at you.
Okay.
I've been there, that did not happen to me.
I have been there, and that did not happen to me.
So,
But that was
Like,
also like one of Sean and I's first outings together. So that was like maybe 08, 09 that we went. But yeah, no, I didn't experience
I didn't experience
anything
that.
unusual. I mean, flickering lights, but you're underground.
You're in a cave. The
So,
fact that you even have lights is crazy to me.
flickering lights didn't really bother me because I kind of felt, well, we're underground and
Yeah.
it's dripping water, so lights and water normally don't go hand in hand.
So now that I'm saying that I've been there, I'm kind of questioning because this is huge and they have a bunch of different things that you can do there, right?
Yeah.
But I went, I think, to Mammoth Cave. I did like a little bus tour during Christmas to see Christmas lights. Is that there?
I
You know what I'm
don't
talking
know.
about? Do they do that? It's
No.
called like Mammoth Lights or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, I've never been there.
I'd have to Google it.
Having lived here my whole life and never been.
Good.
I have been in caves.
Yeah, I've been to other caves.
Not once you take tours in.
She's like, I don't pay for the caves that I go to.
That's right.
You go in the Holler caves.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you take me?
Yeah.
I want to go to caves.
Oh, yeah, I'll remember it and, like, no problem. I can do that.
Where are you from?
Harlan and Letcher County proud, yeah!
Where are you from?
Owsley County.
No, where are you from?
Owsley County.
Orlando is called Owsley.
Oh, no. So I was born in Orlando and
Yeah.
lived there until I was 8.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Owsley County.
I wanted to hear you rep Orlando.
Oh, Orlando.
Come on.
You know, it's no real.
Okay, another big one that everyone knows is Bobby Mackey's Music World. That's is it Wilder? If
Not
you're-
everybody knows.
if you're into the paranormal investigations and stuff
all
like
right.
that. So if like
Okay.
you're into that world.
Where even is that?
Not the Climax Central, but
Right.
is it Wilder,
Wilder, Kentucky?
Kentucky? Yeah.
Hmm.
So
How
it
else
is
would you pronounce that? Wilder.
moving right along.
Yeah,
It is.
it's
I don't know. Well, I say urban or Irvine.
No.
In California, it's Irvine.
Here
And then
it's
everyone here it's
yeah.
urban. So I didn't know if it was going to be like Wilder.
Where do you pick up your son at? What school?
Bardstown.
No.
Oh,
What
Berea?
school? What'd you say?
Sorry?
Berea? Is
Oh,
it
She
Berea?
get it right.
First
Berea.
time.
She
That's
never
the
said
first
that
time
right.
I've ever heard her say Berea.
No.
Do I go back and forth?
You say
No.
Berea.
By Raya.
All right, and that's it for today's episode. They're going to have to go home now.
My dad always called it Berea.
Berea.
And a lot of people call it that Berea. But she called it something.
Berea.
I probably do
Berea.
go back and forth. So, Berea.
Just like
Why? For what?
Barberville.
What are you saying?
Have you heard of... Exactly. There's a town in Kentucky. It's called Barberville.
Yeah.
But
Barble.
only if you're from Kentucky, we all know it as Barberville. But anyone else is like Barberville.
That's like everyone who doesn't live here says Louisville, and everyone's like,
That's
it's
right.
Louisville.
It's Louisville.
Mhm.
Louisville. Like, you have to say it like you're mumbling and
Yeah,
drunk.
you just get a handful of rocks and put in there. Barberville. Louisville. That's all you do.
So even when you say Lexington, you don't have the G. It's not Lexington. You
Right.
say Lexington.
Lexington.
Say it.
Lexington.
Say it. Yeah.
Lexington.
Like,
Lexingtonians.
so maybe I'm pronouncing it the way I read
Urbanites.
things.
For Irvin.
Okay, so Bobby Mackey, since you guys have never heard of this in your life, let me tell you about it. It's not only one of the most like haunted places here, but possibly one of the most haunted locations in the entire world.
No.
Boring. Next. Can we move on now?
No, I'm really interested in this.
I'm teasing.
Shut up.
Yeah, me too.
Boring. My favorite. These are my favorite, you guys. I have no idea.
Boring.
Okay, so listen, for anyone who has the interest in the paranormal, you've heard of this, which apparently you guys have not.
No.
It's a nightclub.
Where
Bobby
is
Mackey?
it?
A nightclub.
Wilder?
Wilder.
Where the hell is Wilder, Kentucky?
Google
Well, it's
it.
not Wild Kentucky. It's Wilder Kentucky.
Google
So
it.
it's on there
we
for
know.
Wild.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
But it's a nightclub, and this also, just like Waverly, has been on a bunch of different shows, whatever. It's literally talked about as the gateway to hell. Having poltergeist activity, and that they have like a waiver that says like staff
Really?
are not responsible for any paranormal attack that happens when you're visiting.
Wow.
Like, it's crazy.
That is nuts.
Okay.
And that's nuts.
Hey, you want to hear something real interesting?
Yes.
I mean, that's interesting too.
Boring.
But one of my cousins, and a brother of mine, they both have like their licensing and schooling
Oh, really?
and paranormal activity.
Really?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay,
And
so
one of them was on a show actually.
it's
but I
about 15
Love the name
minutes
of it right now.
south of Cincinnati.
Okay.
So 15 minutes south of Cincinnati.
can't-
So it's northern Kentucky, but I did not know. I did not even know that was a place.
So if you guys want to go to a nightclub, I'm not going.
No, I'm not going there.
Just letting you know I'm not going.
Mm-mm.
Bobby McAfee's.
Mackey's.
Oh.
My brother.
Isn't that the
McPhee. What are you saying?
McAfee, the software
Oh.
thing?
Well, my dad was Bobby Macintosh.
Yeah.
So
He's actually. So it was a mixture of your dad and someone else that
someone
founded
else.
this
Mhm.
nightclub,
That's
apparently.
good.
Hmm.
All right, I have one more before I want to hear about the one that you were talking about,
Okay.
and then any stories you have.
Mhm.
So the last one that I wanted to finish with is because this is a place that we go to all the time.
Okay, this is not the place.
Not
that
no more?
I speak. Not no more. For real.
Okay, so this is Whitehall. Whitehall
What?
Park.
Oh, I have heard that.
Oh.
I have heard that, but I've
Now
never
I'm-
been in the building.
So I'm
Now
going to tell you.
interested.
I'm going to tell you about it, and I'm just going to read the, when you Google it, and you have that little excerpt, I'm going to read it. So
You
Whitehall
realize that's
Mansion,
like 2 miles from my house.
2 miles from your house, and we work there.
Mm-hmm.
Onita and I we work there every once in a while, and we take our kids there. You take
Fish,
pictures
yeah.
there. We fish
Fish
there.
there,
Like I
yeah.
said, we spend time here.
I'll
I've
have
never
to
had
look
no
at
bad vibes though.
I need to
No,
look
I
at any of
haven't
those
either.
pictures
But
and
I've
see if
also-
there's some orange.
None of us. You a long time ago said you've been in the house.
Right.
It was a
Never been.
long time ago. I've
That's
never
right.
been in the house. So the mansion itself, dating back to 1798, this site was the historic home to Cassius Clay. His
Yes.
father built the home, and it was believed to be haunted by Clay himself, his wife, and his son. Witnesses have claimed to see moving candle lights. They hear footsteps and other mysterious noises, and even smells through the home. Something about smells, no thank you.
But it's
Yeah.
like built in the 1700s. It's going to smell.
I understand, but like there are certain smells. Like if I smell dust or like floorboard or
Right,
something,
that's gonna
like
be.
okay, it's an old ass house. If I smell like death,
I've never smelt Yeah.
Me neither. No. You want to go there with me or not?
I've smoked the trash a couple of times.
Another thing, though, is piano and violin music has also been heard when there's nothing.
She said
Birdie.
And 3.
What about banjo? Do they have any banjo playing?
Not unless you show up
No.
in clog with your banjo in hand. Also, ghostly apparitions have been spotted. The historical residence is open for you guys to take tours, which we have not done ourselves.
Why haven't we?
Well, I have.
I think
I
we're
just
busy.
don't remember them. But I have went.
Why don't you enter them?
I don't remember anything.
Oh, okay.
Where are we at?
Where are we at? Okay, so
Good.
before I get into the last little portion that I have, I do want to hear. So, Becky, please start with the haunting or the haunted house or whatever it was that you're going to say. And then I want you to tell a couple
Okay.
of your, like, spooky stories.
Okay.
Okay, so mine's Morehead State.
Morehead State.
Morehead State
I actually
University.
applied to go to college there.
Yes. So when I was a cheerleader in like 9th grade, 10th grade, somewhere in that area, I went there for cheer camp. So we would go for a week-long camp. We would stay in the dormitories and go to the gym and do camp, like every day. And
Carry on. Go on with it. I'm kidding. I'm teasing.
I believe I went 2 different times. The first time I was in a different dorm, so I didn't have any experiences. The second time I was in, I do not remember the name of the dorm, but there was like moving of furniture like all night long, like 3 o'clock in the morning, and you would hear and like above you like moving furniture. Like,
Was it like dorm rooms that were empty? You knew
Yes.
they were like vacant?
not only that, but even if they weren't vacant, which they were vacant, but even if they weren't vacant, who is moving the bed?
Anita.
At
That's her golden hour. What do you?
That's
She
right.
also went
I
to
was
cheer camp,
dusting.
Becky.
but we're teenagers.
I know.
You know, like they do.
I was
You're like,
already.
They do
Yeah,
a
she's
big
like, I
change.
was married when you were a teenager.
That's right.
Becky.
Oh, I forgot. But there was nobody else. There was just the cheerleaders that went to the camp. There was no other. There was nobody else there. The
Yeah.
floors above us were empty. We only had like the first 2 floors, whatever. And all night long there was moving of furniture.
Ooh.
So the story is there was this girl named Penelope, and she got into a relationship, and it was a mixed racial relationship. So she got pregnant, and the story is that she jumped
Oh my gosh.
off the building and killed herself. And that she haunts the place.
That's crazy. And so you
'Cause it
were
was
probably there,
dorm.
what, like 2005 or something like that? So it was a haunting. It
Yeah,
was
like 0405. I
something
don't
happened,
remember
like,
the years.
ago.
Yeah, I don't remember the year of, I don't even know when the school was created, but I don't remember the year, but that was the story that was told through the grapevine.
I
basically.
instantly, I'm like, if it was
But I
any
do
haunting, I
remember,
think it's forever ago.
but I do remember the moving of the
Hearing it.
furniture. Yeah, like
Ugh.
all hours of the night, and not just a little bit. Like it would go all night long, and it was like moving. Like when you push a dresser on a wood floor or a concrete
Yeah.
floor, like that kind of noise. It was
Ooh.
all night long, and everybody heard it. Not just my room. The rooms down the hall would hear it. The rooms below us would hear it. Like everybody heard. Like it was
Don't like
all
that.
the talk, all the rage.
I don't like that at all. I don't know how you would stay, like, day one, I'd be like, Mom,
Oh.
I'm going to need you to come and get me immediately.
No, like I just kept telling myself it wasn't true.
Yeah.
Like I just kept telling myself it wasn't true because I know if I had called my grandma, she'd be like, "I'm not coming to pick you up."
Yeah.
Like, forget about it.
Yeah.
That is crazy, though.
But yeah, no, it was. And I've looked it up. I don't, like I said, I have looked it up. I have read about it. I don't remember any of the years.
Where's this
or-
at again?
At Morehead State University. At Morehead.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
All right. What do you got to share? I know you've had some moments from
Mm-hmm.
I won't say particularly like haunted houses, but you like, I don't want to say like you're followed, but you've had some moments yourself.
Yes.
Specifically.
Well, you know, I have wondered that.
You have something about you.
Yeah. People just want to follow me. Even the spirits. The spirits come after
They're
me.
attracted to you.
I guess.
It's true.
No, I have had a few different experiences, things that I couldn't even believe. Well, for one, I would always question, you know, really? Ghosts? Okay, really? Okay, sure. But my boyfriend at the time in high school, I was at his mom's house on the porch, and I was a teenager, 14 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? Anywho, and he had a big picture window, on the porch. And I looked in the window, and there was a guy in a solid white outfit on his knees, and he had his hands up on the couch in prayer pose. Yeah. He was staring at his hands, and he turned and stared at me. Me too. I'm trying to tell it. And then he turned back around. And I mean, I about jumped out of my skin.
My heart stopped beating in that moment.
I was patting on my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Pointing. And he's like, what? And I told him, he's like, oh, yeah, this is the ghost that lives here.
What?
Like, you didn't want to tell me that before I came
right?
out here? You didn't want to tell me before I became your girlfriend? What do you mean?
This was in Cumberland, Kentucky.
He said that's just the ghost that lives
here. Yeah, and there was like
nothing.
Right. And there was like blood stain on the ground in their living room. And one time, me and his mom was sitting in the kitchen.
Wait, Onita, that's a bigger deal. You don't just pass through that.
Well, yeah, there was blood stains on the carpet. And
not on the carpet. It was on the wooden floor.
The subfloor under the carpet.
Yes. Blood stains on it. Like splattered.
Did you see that, or did he just tell you that?
No, I seen it.
Why are you looking at this man's subfloor?
Well, no, I mean, they had it exposed.
Why did they have it exposed?
They had a carpet.
So many questions.
They had like a rug over it, but peel it back.
I would have a rug over it too.
But anywho, me and his mom was sitting at the table one night, and we were sitting there talking. You have to pass by the table to go into the bedroom to the bathroom. Well, actually, he went that way. And so he comes in and was like, well, what are you working on? Because he was working on cars all the time. And he was just mad. Just went on to the bathroom, and me and her was like, well, what's he mad at? And I was like, I guess he's mad at them old cars, can't get them working or something. And I'll be daggum, he came straight through the house again. And me and her both was, you just came through. So it would take on the shapes of people. That's weird. That's weird.
Vomit.
That's real weird.
I would never go back there.
Never.
Honey, after the first, I would have left the porch and never stepped foot back on the porch.
And then there was another time.
Same house?
No, a different house that we lived in.
Yeah. Same boyfriend or a different person?
Well.
Okay.
Yeah. No, same. But we lived in a log cabin that had been moved from Harlan County, 30 miles away.
Yeah.
And they used to use that as a store, and it had wormy chestnut wood in it, which is a big deal. From way back then, it was kind of hard to get a hold of.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the cabin was made out of that, and now it sits in Cumberland, right when you cross over that bridge there. Black and white cabin. We lived there, and it didn't have any central heating there. Mm-hmm. It just had the baseboard heaters. Uh-huh. Well, it was winter time, and we also had a fireplace. We had went to bed. We were trying to conserve energy and heat in this one room. The doorknob was right beside of our bed. And I mean, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. Somebody was a twisting and a shaking and moving that doorknob in and out as hard as they could. And we woke up, we started each other and put the cover over our head. We waited like 10 minutes. It was scary. Then we got up and we checked the whole entire house. Wasn't there any sign of any kind of break-in, no glass broken, all the doors and windows were locked. Not the soul of anyone there.
I was just shocked that y'all just threw the covers over your head like it was going to go away.
Yeah. Well, you know when you get scared, you do. What you going to do? You going to jump up with a shotgun and start shooting? Yeah. I would. I know you would.
Oh, I would have been like, get your ass up out of this bed and
so
go find what the hell is going on out there. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have done nothing.
Yeah. So then I've had little
That's
other
what I wanted to
things.
hear.
I'll be damned if he's going to throw the covers over his head, too. No, that is reserved for me.
And he is full redneck.
You better
Full
get under
redneck.
this bed and see
And-
who's trying to get in my door.
That's crazy.
But then, like, whenever I moved to Lexington, there was also little incidents, but that was not a big deal. But having been from Harlan County and Letcher County,
No, I
We
hear that
know.
Harlan is, like, haunted.
yes,
Like, the county itself, like, has a
Well,
lot of
everybody
hauntings.
knows of-
Yeah.
Headless Annie
Yeah.
Not everybody.
up on Letcher County, up
Yeah.
on the mountain going towards Whitesburg.
Yeah.
So the story is...
How far away is that from here?
About
About 2 hours, 3.
Yeah, about
Yeah.
3.
Okay.
Probably about 3. Whitesburg, a little bit further, probably like 4. Because
Yeah.
that
That makes me
mountain is
happy.
terrible. It's got a big horseshoe curve on the mountain, you think.
Gone.
Anyways, I've heard a couple of different stories that she was a bride, that she was
She ran away.
in a prom, whatever the story may be, car came along, cut her head off, and on certain nights, during the day, she wears black with a black veil,
And that
and at night, she wears white.
Oh,
And
gosh.
my brother James...
Those stories always get me. There's so many.
Me
There's
too.
so many of them.
I got chills. Look here.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's chills.
See?
So he said that he was up on the mountain one night and his car broke down and he got out to fix it. And when he got back in, she was sitting there with
Oh,
him.
hell
Your
no.
brother?
Yes, John. I mean, James. James.
Oh, I was
Anyways.
ready to go to your house.
Yeah.
John, tell me this.
Child
And
bring this
he asked
microphone.
her, can you tell me about that time? He asked her where she was going. Of course, she didn't say anything. He didn't see her face. He just kept driving until he got to the spot where her accident happened. He looked over and she was gone.
So scary.
Now, he also seen big fireballs on top of that mountain, too, coming out of the sky under rocks. I don't know. I don't know if he was on the juice or not. I don't know.
He said, I just drove down. The fuck I would.
I'm gonna need you to get out. I'm gonna need you to get out right here.
Somebody's getting out of this car.
If you ain't getting out, I'm getting out.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, and that was back the day before cell phones. So you couldn't call anybody to come pick you. Lord, that car just passed.
I got that on video too. I can't wait to pull that clip. She
Did
went
you
like this.
see?
She went like this. Got that little flinch.
Like, I can't.
She's on edge.
Yeah.
Woo.
That's probably, yeah. I do have more, but I ain't going to tell him.
We might need to. We might need to
Like-
have like just like a
Like a
ghost story, like
episode.
or just
Yeah.
like a Onita biography.
You need to open a dictionary.
That too. Everyone's gonna be like, "What is Nary? I heard Nary." Don't worry, I will fill you in. All of that will be in the show notes. So the next portion that I have is the last portion, and this is on cryptids.
What?
Do you know what a cryptid
What the
is?
hell? Speak English.
Oh, you want me to speak English?
What's a cryptid?
You never heard of a cryptid? So
No.
Bigfoot,
I feel like I have.
the Loch Ness monster,
I don't
those
believe
kind
any
of
of that
things.
stuff.
Okay, so that was
Oh,
where I
yeah.
was going to get into. Well, that's where I was going to start is what your beliefs are, if any,
Mhm.
not only in cryptids, in aliens, in spirits, like that kind of thing. Like I want to know like where your head is when it comes to like any sort of belief other than humans.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I don't believe in any of that stuff. Aliens, I mean, to an alien, we're an alien. You know? Like, if you think outer space-wise. You know?
Out of this world. You're out of this world,
To
Becky.
an alien, I'm an alien.
I love it.
Because I don't look like them, I don't talk like them, I don't act like them, I don't live like them.
Okay.
So, like, do I believe in aliens? I don't really know much about outer space to have a concrete answer, yes or no.
Okay.
As far as, like, ghosts and spirits, I have had things like I was telling you about, like, Morehead State, my aunt's house in Florida, which my cousin now owns that house. They have stories out, like, galore. And I have had some spirits type
Activities.
activities,
Me
yes.
too.
I have seen, you know, spirits there. My cousins, though, they have stories for days because they lived there their whole entire childhood. So that stuff I kind of have a little bit of a belief in. I'm not like a firm, strong, like,
Right.
But I've seen things, but it could just be
It's
my
like how it's
imagination.
explained.
Yeah. And then as far as like cryptids, I'm sure there's creatures, that are.
So you just want to change the name from cryptid to creature?
Is that what you're doing? Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's probably creatures that are abnormally large, or abnormally small, or abnormally weird looking.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say I don't believe in Bigfoot, but or the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah. Nessie.
This is a very large world,
Right?
And if you've
Right.
ever drove through the mountains of eastern Kentucky, they are
shit.
huge.
Yeah.
Like the hillsides are ginormous.
Yeah.
How am I to know what's on that hillside?
On that hillside, under the water, in the sky.
Yeah, like
Who knows?
How could you know?
How
We are
am I
such a
to say?
small bit of this world. So it's crazy to
So
say.
I can't
Yeah.
say I don't believe in any of that. I tell myself like I don't believe in this or that just to preserve my own sanity. I think.
I get that.
Yeah.
All right. What about you?
I'm actually kind of the same. I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. Spirituality.
Yeah.
Anything can almost be possible.
Exactly. Like, who am I to
Yeah.
say it's right or wrong, or it's yes or a hard no? Like, who am I to say?
So what about
Yeah.
aliens for you? Like there's
I have kind of thought about that. I mean, I sort of think.
I know, right?
Maybe not. I mean, you think of the pyramids and stuff, but
Which, I mean,
You
she's
did that?
far more educated than I am.
it don't sound like it right now. does it?
No, but
Like, I have thoughts and ideas, and in my mind, I'm like, oh, this looks like this would be appropriate, and this looks sophisticated. But then when I try to get it out, it's like,
that's me every single time.
It's
on
just
this
a
podcast.
mesh of,
Yeah. But, yeah, no, I
of
mean,
words.
like you said, we're just a small part
Right.
of a very large world, and it's just kind of like what is and what isn't. Who are we to say?
Well,
Yeah.
So tell us about your.
But I mean,
kids.
but I will say this. I would like to say this. That, I've had little things on my own, things that have happened that is strange coincidence. Like, how could this be? And I've even spoke with a medium before, and she has told me stuff that she should not know. And people always question that, like, well, she's a medium, so what she gets paid for. But what do you say to someone that I didn't pay?
right,
Well, see, and I think that you aren't.
right.
A lot of people are easy to read.
Yeah.
So when they go to a medium can pick up on
Your body language.
their body languages
yeah.
and this and that. You're hard to read.
That's what
in
she
my
said.
opinion.
She said that too, because my aura was almost like her aura.
Yeah,
She was having
you're
a hard-
very like monotone, flesh face. Like you don't, and you could be doing those kind of facial
Yeah.
expressions, and it mean absolutely nothing.
Really?
And then you could be
She'd be
doing
like, I'm in
those-
the worst mood ever.
Yes,
So, like,
exactly.
honestly, though, whenever she was telling me things that no one else should know, it made me question, like,
Is
maybe-
this real? Yeah,
maybe there is something to the afterlife. I mean, we don't know. We don't know.
we don't know.
We really don't know. And no one will ever know.
No.
Because once you're gone, they're not going to come back to heaven. I mean, they might come back as a spirit and this and that, but we don't know for sure. But whenever she was telling me these things, and I know for a fact I did not pay her, it's like, how do you
Yeah.
explain? I
Yeah.
just met her. She
Yeah.
didn't know me.
Yeah,
It was before social media was even a thing.
yeah.
How did she know specific,
Details.
precise details?
Yeah. No, that's very true. Very true. So
You know?
yeah.
So it does make you kind of question,
Yeah.
What about you?
I think I believe in everything, and I also don't believe in anything. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Which it doesn't.
It
It
does.
does. It doesn't. Whatever. But it's like I feel like the way that I said it. I feel like the world is so big,
Yeah.
and Earth is so small,
Yeah.
and that there is definitely other things outside of
mean, there could be a
world.
whole nother Earth on another planet.
Exactly. And
you
so
know?
it's like, I do believe that there is aliens of sorts. I do believe there is some sort of other life creatures of sorts. When it comes to cryptids, I do agree with a lot of what you were saying, that like you can totally mistaken an ugly ass wolf for something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something that's got the mange and the rabies and the
Yeah, so I don't know, but then there's all these sightings that I do question, and I'm like, damn, like that would be crazy. And then when it comes to ghost spirits, stuff like that, I do believe in that sort of. I think it's a communication type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I
I feel like if you're really more in tune, within yourself.
And some people are more open. Like empaths are very open to other things, whether that's because you want to, like if you're just wanting to be open and wanting to believe, rather than being closed. Like if you're a skeptic, you're a realist, you're going to be like, fuck that.
That's how I,
no.
You know, whenever I saw that ghost on his knees, I had always been like, yeah, right, there's no ghost.
Right.
No
turn
such
your
thing.
head and then like look back. Like
that's what he did.
several
Like I just
times.
looked in, and he did this and looked at me.
And I, at
And
that
back.
point, I would have turned my head and looked away.
And then after that, I was like, okay, I can believe that there's things that may look like hallucinogen, you know, but it's there. And then I'm like, and I don't have any kind of mental diagnoses, you know, besides ADHD. Besides that. But when something like that happens, you're like, wow, that is very strange. I didn't think that could happen.
Real quick with the head turn thing, I've told this before on the pod, but I don't think that Becky's heard this. I mean, you've probably heard this. The whole like slow head turn thing is so creepy.
It really is.
Yeah.
And Kenzie's had different, to me, experiences. And
I feel like she would be like, she could almost be like,
I feel like that
like a
about
portal. Not necessarily, but
I feel like Hank is like that.
Yeah.
I feel like he's very intuitive about things, and he has seen things and has told me stuff. Yeah. And he's only a child. He's 7. Yeah. You know, ever since he was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. He's always told me things.
I'll have to tell you guys a story about the play.
Well, and that's so her. She has left food out for a ghost that has been in this house before. She has left food out saying that they wanted things and they were hungry. This little boy, she had this one specifically. I'm like, are you sure it's not like an imaginary friend?
Yeah. I wonder.
This one time though, and this wasn't with the boy, she was asleep. I thought she was asleep. We were in our room and me and Joel are like, what is that? Like I heard something. Did not sound like her. And I was like, what the heck? So I get out and our doors are right next to each other. Yeah. So I open my door and I hear what is not her voice. And she always has the Google, but it's like it's like ocean waves or like a more natural kind of thing. And so I go in, and I mean, people take over those things all the time. So I'm not trying to say that. But I open her door and I peek in, and she's sitting straight up in her bed. The best posture I've ever seen a single human do. She's sitting up in her bed looking straight towards her window. And so the way that I'm looking at her is like, I see the side of her, and I'm like, Kenzie, are you okay? Like, what's going on? She doesn't say anything. I'm like, Kenzie, are you okay? Doesn't say anything. Kenzie, who are you talking to? And she slowly turns her head. She goes,
oh my gosh.
Just like that. She turns and says, you. And I'm like, no, you weren't talking to me. I grabbed her head. I pushed it to the pillow like, you need to go to sleep right now. It was the scariest thing. And then like the next 3 nights, I just had to stare at her.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, dude,
I'm like, no.
I couldn't imagine.
I hear stuff at my house a lot.
Do you know when Jeff's house was built?
No.
I mean, mine was built early. I mean, mine's like 1982 or something. But the house is very right there next to me, 30 feet away.
The ground.
Yes. There was no other houses there except this one. This here in here in
I do know about that.
Sunset Avenue.
Yeah.
This house was
where
built.
You live. Gotta cut that.
Okay. Well,
I'll be cutting that part.
Well, the house that's it's next to where I live, somewhere in Richmond.
Yes.
Somewhere far away.
It's built in
Virginia.
1864.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
the grounds next to it was just that house and the carrier house right across from it was the only thing there. But there's a lot of times it sounds like the kids talking or saying something.
Oh,
And we'll go
gosh.
in there and they are sound asleep. I mean, I swear it's like takes on their voice. I don't know. It could really be them. But when we go in there, it's like no movement, no activity.
I have had 0 interactions of any kind in my home.
But I mean,
Good.
Hank usually he wouldn't even go in his room for a very, very, very long time. But he talks about he says they're little balls that look like little rainbow shiny balls.
They're little orbs. Yeah, those are orbs, dude.
He sees them all the time. And I say, how does that make you feel? And he goes, I don't mind it. I'm like, oh, it don't make you
He be
sad?
hanging
He's
out
like,
with other
no.
humans.
I mean,
fine.
There's so many times he's told me about my mom.
It makes a whole lot of sense
My
why we're
brother.
boring to
Well,
him.
that's what I was
Because
going
he
to
has a
Right.
whole nother world he's living.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you all about a dream that Chloe had. So I had a friend named Gina, and she passed away in like early 2020, I believe. Maybe it was 2019. Anyways, I can never remember. But anyways, the story is Chloe was really young. Chloe was only like 2.5, 3 years old when Gina died. So she knew Gina, but only for that very short period of her life. Well, one day she was telling her dad that she said, Gina can't call me. This has been a couple years ago. She said, Gina can't call me. And Sean's like, what do you mean? And she said, well, Gina came to me in my dream and told me that she wears the same clothes every day and that she can't call me because she doesn't have a phone.
Oh my God.
And Sean was like,
Mm.
when he told me that, like, it sent chills on my body because
Me
I know,
too.
like, Gina would do nothing other than protect and love my kids because she
Yeah.
was like, she was my person.
Right.
Mhm.
She was my person. And it just, the fact that Chloe said that, and she was like,
Yeah.
she wears the same clothes every day and she can't call me because she doesn't have a phone. And I just thought that is
Yeah.
like so sweet and loving and kind.
No.
But at the same
Little
time,
children see things.
they do, and they're
They really
so
do.
innocent.
And then that's part of it. Like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to believe in this.
And I
spirit
think
in
that's
the
where like
world.
my belief comes is the fact that when you are young and you are so vulnerable and you have yet to be kind of like subjected to the
Yes.
ways of our world and the like routine of like this is
Yeah.
what you're gonna do, this is what you're gonna be, this is, you know what I mean? It's like you're open and you're susceptible to these things,
Well,
and then
you're
all of a sudden you
easily-
become an adult and shut off to the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
So,
And that could be it. It could be like, you know, us as adults, we've shut off to so much that we don't see or feel
yeah.
as much as Hank or
Yeah,
Kenzie
that's right.
sees or
That's
feels,
right. They're
you know?
in tune. They don't have all the stress.
And it could have been more
Yeah,
than a
from
dream.
society.
Chloe said it was a dream, but it could have been an everyday conversation that just kind of.
Well, you know what's weird? Whenever my brother passed, he loved "Stairway to Heaven," the song. He wanted me to sing it, of course. I could not sing it because I couldn't even speak.
Yeah.
You know? But anyways, it was so strange because Hank was like 1 year old when James passed. And then one night, probably like 3 or 4, we were laying in bed and he is looking up and he said, "Who's that, Mommy?" And I said, "Where?" You know, it's dark.
Yeah.
And he said, "Is that Uncle John?" "No, it's not John." And I said, "Well, what do you see?" And he goes, "He's going in the stairs. He's going up the stairs. He's flying." He said, "Oh, he's gone." And he waved. He waved at him. Said he's waving. And I got thinking, I was like, "Stairway to Heaven."
Yeah.
There were so many things when he passed that.
Gosh, I got like goosebumps twice. I got back to back.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
do you want to hear more about that too? Because I got a bunch of these about James. One time, Bristol was in the potty. She was learning how to potty. She was she was probably like 2, 1.5, 2. And she was on the potty and she said, "Mommy, come wipe my hiney." And I'm like, "Hiney? You've never said hiney."
Yeah.
Where did you come up with that, you know? And so I thought it was funny. And I was going to ask Siri how to spell hiney because I want to make a post. And I said, "Siri, how do you spell hiney?" And Jeff was with me. And it said, James.
That
James.
is so crazy.
James. looked at Jim and I said, "You heard that? You heard that?" And he goes, "I did hear that."
Oh!
And I said, "That's
Did he
James
say
coming
hi?
through." Well, before he passed, he was in the hospital. He had like in like a week or two to live. I don't want to get sad on y'all, but anyways. He was in his room and we went to visit him, me and my other siblings.
Yeah.
And the nurse came in and she's like, "He needs to use the potty. He's got to put a band pad," you know. So we walked away and we went to the waiting room and she came in there and he's a big jokester. They came in there and said, "James sent me in here to get y'all and said it won't hurt you to come and wipe his hiney one more time."
Oh my
Uh-uh.
gosh. That's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
Oh.
Talk about chills.
Yeah.
That was another time when my mom passed. I was sitting, and you might have to cut some of this out because I talk too much.
We got about 15 minutes.
Okay. So whenever my mom passed, I was sitting up front, and I had my hand out like this.
Yeah.
And often my mom would sit, ride shotgun, and I'd be holding her hand.
Yeah.
And Bristol was just one. She was still a baby. My mom had passed just like maybe a few weeks before that. And I had kept her flowers that was on her casket in the main back, in the windowsill back there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was sitting there with my hand like this. And Bristol started laughing and she was talking and answering. And it looked like she was talking to somebody. Just about that time, a big gust of wind came through. And that flare, all the way from the back, flew up and landed in my hand.
Mm. I love that.
And I said, I understand, Mommy. I ain't going to forget that.
Yeah. See, and I think that's like another reason of the believing right there, because it's like that's what I was saying about like communication. They want you to feel that. People want you to feel that. And that's why I'm like, I have to be open to like those kind of experiences. And if that is something that can be happening, I'm not going to
be open
say
for
no to it.
Well, and another thing, whenever my brother passed.
I'm just sitting here like dumbfounded.
She's just like, her mommy.
Yeah. Well, we had my brother's ashes, and I went into the Dollar Tree, and I was trying to find something cute to put down. And I found this little glass vase. You might see it in my windowsill. And it had a bunch of tiny seashells in there. And I went up, and it was the only one in the whole store. And I said, "I guess this is $1. Can I go ahead and get," because they had that $5. And she's like, "We don't sell that in here." And I said, "Well, it's on the shelf." She's like, "Well, you just have it then." Well, later, of course, I wanted to look up like meanings and stuff. And that is one of the things whenever spirits are trying to come through and talk to you, you'll see a lot of seashells. Mm-hmm. I mean, that might not be that significant. But other times, there would be big piles of pennies in the floor.
Yeah.
And the kids was playing with them. I'm like, "Where'd you get these pennies?" "Oh, no, they just appeared." And that was another sign. So all those things right around James's passing was really, really weird.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. We went on a ride.
That was deep. That was deep.
Yeah.
I mean, I got more, but we're just going to hush up and okay? Because that is too much talking.
I don't even know how to like segue from that to like want to hear about the goat man. Like, what do you mean?
I know, like, how do we carry on to Cryptids?
Yeah. Cryptids.
Oh.
Are you talking about the cicadas outside? Let me tell you real fast. So earlier I was walking in the church parking lot. And
she finds Jesus every time she walks in that parking lot with those.
I sure do, but so I'm walking in the parking lot, and it's a parking lot. There's cars, they're parked. There's aisles, there's trees, there's cicadas, and my ass is walking directly in the middle of the street. And my thought was, I'd rather get taken out by a car than walk by a tree and get landed on one of these.
I almost ate one of them suckers tonight.
Landed in your mouth.
Involuntarily.
Yeah, landed in her mouth.
No, it
Yes,
did.
it did.
No, it did. Because your mouth is open all the time.
I also got stung by a bee on my eyebrow over the weekend. Everything just loves me. I told you.
It's like your
attractive.
natural Botox. So
Yeah.
You should be picking bees like, hey, look, this is the real shit. Why you look so good.
Come over to Onita's house for a facial. Someday she'll pull a bee out and be like, "Bitch, you better back up."
Okay, I am going to tell you these two things, then we will wrap it up because we got to get out of here. But 2 cryptids from this area, and there's more. Like, you can just, like...
Part man, part wolf, or something like that.
Stuff.
Because my brother James seen that.
No.
Letcher County.
See?
Whitesburg Mountain.
See?
I didn't
Which
touch
brother?
him. James. He always had spirits around him, I guess. I just
Lots
saw
of
that.
stuff.
It's weird.
That's the
No,
same one
you're
that got
gonna-
that headless woman.
That's right. That's right. I mean, he's seen ghosts all the time.
Oof. All
That's
right,
wild.
tell us about this.
I guess now I get to see him and experience him since he's gone.
So continue
I thought
to
about that.
be open to that so that we have more stories we can share. It's crazy. The first name is the Pope Lick Monster, but it's Goat Man.
You go around
so
licking.
a Goat Man story has been the focus of lore for decades. Legend has it half man, half goat. Resides under a train trestle.
You talk about ugly. I bet that poor little thing.
Seriously.
Which part is which is my question.
That's right. We want to know that. Can you have a drawing of this?
I will show you a picture in a minute. So,
Oh, she's not got a drawing.
no, I'll pull it up right here for you.
Oh, okay.
Google it.
But this is under the Pope Lick Creek in Louisville is where this bridge is. Like the trolls and old fairy tales.
Oh,
He doesn't
really?
like people crossing his bridge.
Anderson, she's going to fact
You
check
gonna
you right
find it
now.
right now?
No, I do have people in Louisville. I'm gonna ask her if
She's
be
fact
having
checking you.
The Goat Man. As Goat Man or the Pope Lick Monster. But there's a story with it. But first, so some say this fellow was born deformed and then abandoned. Some say he isn't a man at all, but a demon. So when I looked into the Goat Man, this cryptid, it's most commonly associated with like other states because the Goat Man can be seen in a bunch of different places: Louisiana, Maryland.
another
Put the rocks in your mouth, Maryland.
That's right.
And Texas. So it's crazy to think that Louisville's only, an hour and a half away from us. So if this Goat Man is real, he's just hanging out under this bridge. But many
travel
people,
all those distances.
there can be more than one, just like a Bigfoot. It's not like it's the only one.
That's what I thought there
I
was
just
only
thought there was only one. Hey, we're stuck over here on one. Okay, we're going to let
No,
you
it's
go
okay.
through it.
No, you're fine. But many people who look for cryptids or go on these hunts have wandered down under this bridge trying to find this cryptid. Strange noises have been reported. Yes, that is how. Do you want to read the story? Strange noises have been reported and accidents have happened. Some have even tragically led to death. And this is actually the one portion that is really sad. Well, you said some sad stories right here. But one being in April of 2016, an Ohio woman was struck and killed by a train while attempting to investigate the Goat Man at this bridge. And it's so sad.
Did that.
Well, yeah,
No,
I'm
she-
sure she fucking does.
That's
How
awful.
don't you see the train?
But here's the craziest thing is it was a date night. It was her and her boyfriend. They were out at this. They were from Ohio and they were going to be going on a ghost tour. And until it was the time for the ghost tour, they were like, let's go look for the Goat Man on this bridge.
Oh.
She died.
When was this?
In 2016.
Her boyfriend lived.
Yeah. Isn't that so
That's
sad?
terrible.
It
I
is.
sure hate to see the interviews with him.
I don't either. And then, so that's about that one. Let me show you. Let's pull up. Hold, please.
Pause.
What is he called? Goat Man, the Legend of the Pope Lick Monster. I just love the name.
Pope Lick Monster.
Not poke salad. Not poke salad. Poke Lick. I do like to say poke. Sometimes I say, would you hand me that poke over there? To put your stuff in. Sack.
That is not legit. That is every bit
Billy Goat's gruff.
generated.
Well, yeah. These are all based on the just people saying.
Lord, how mercy.
That's why it's a cryptid. You wouldn't have an actual sighting.
Yeah.
Or a legit one, but that's what it would say it would look like. That's what the Goat Man looks like.
I was hoping you'd give me a little something there.
No, I don't. But the next one's even funnier. The next one's even funnier. So the next one, this is the Hopkinsville Little Green Man. Okay?
Oops. Where's Hawkinsville?
Ain't that Superman place? No, that might be wrong.
I don't know, but so the mystery of the Little Green Man in Kentucky has been given several different names. It was called the Kelly Green Man case because of the name of the person who had found the Little Green Man, and also the mystery of the Kentucky Goblins. It all started in 1955 in Hopkinsville. UFO enthusiasts have deemed it one of the most well-documented cases in the realm of unidentified, unexplainable incidents. So I'm going to read this. This is from the article of the incident that happened, because I feel like a lot of sightings are one person saying, I saw this thing, and that's not this case. And that's why it's even crazier. So 5 adults and 7 children made their way to the police station on August 21st, 1955 to report the encounter. Elmer, Lucky, Sutton, and Billy Ray Taylor both claimed...
They ain't real.
They ain't real. What you got against these names?
Put down that paper.
You don't make that up.
Listen, okay? Both claimed that they fought off these unknown beings with gunfire.
Who claimed that? The kids?
Billy Ray.
You know them kids be making that up.
Billy
They
Ray
exaggerate.
and Elmer Sutton, okay? The police
Give
investigated.
it real names.
When they went and investigated, they found nothing but
Bullets.
empty bullets and no goblins, okay?
Yeah, because these 2 18-year-olds were drunk in the holler.
These were 5 adults and 7 children.
Them 7
Listen.
children, they really had them going.
They swore to their existence and they were terrified. Even military police came out to observe the crime. Neighbors also reported
Since when are they
strange-
doing that?
He didn't get investigated. He broke into my garage. You want to go investigate some nonsense like this?
Well, I think you'll appreciate a quote that I'm going to read because
I doubt it. I'm playing.
This
Boring.
is why she wanted us for this.
Yeah.
This
So that we could sit here and interrupt her.
Exactly.
Perfect reading.
this is my favorite. This is what I live for. This gives me the break in reading that I don't want to do, okay?
She's calling us chopped liver. I thought she lived for us, Becky. Shoot.
I don't even know what's happening anymore.
She also has other
Okay.
friends.
No, she don't.
What'd
She
she
better not.
say?
She better not.
Did she say I have other friends?
She
I
did.
said you also have other friends.
And I said, she better not.
You know,
Okay, we're going to let
all of
you.
her friends probably listen to this and they're going to be like, yeah, we're friends!
They're coming for you.
They will.
Oh.
Take their pitchforks.
That's a Kentucky thing. I don't have. What are you even talking about?
Oh,
Yes.
reminds me, we were talking about Haints, and I forgot to tell you about this one time. I can't tell it. You gotta read it. I forgot.
Okay. This apparently was not for
ADHD
the
much?
pod.
Nope.
That's gonna have to wait for another time.
Okay.
People, you better write in that you want to know what
This
she's
just
talking
involved
about.
an old man that we hit when he's wearing overalls, but then we went and looked for him. He wasn't there, so I just told him.
Well, I think
It's
you
okay.
just told the story.
You were wearing overalls
No.
yesterday. Was it you?
No. Ah, okay.
Listen, this
Wanna
was
try?
such a big. You won't listen. You haven't listened to the last
That
hour.
one's mine.
Here, Becky.
Okay.
This has been such like a big thing in Hopkinsville,
Uh-huh.
that they actually have like a festival that is dedicated to the Little Green Men.
We need to go.
Yeah,
I know,
we should.
right? No,
We should.
I don't know.
But like I said, I'm going to
I
read
ain't
this
trying to get
quote
wrapped
because
up.
I thought this was really interesting because I'm not from around here, but it says these aren't the kind of people who normally run to the police for help.
These ain't.
This is from the chief police at this time. They're not the
he's
people
talking
who run.
about these
Yes, yes, and that's what I'm saying. Like that actually made me have some. But that gives me some validity behind it because so many people
Right.
out here,
Right.
they're going to handle their own. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
So the fact that he said
Mm.
these aren't the kind of people who normally run to the police for help. What they do is reach for their guns,
That's right. I told you.
and they did. They
I
they
didn't
reached
told
for their
you.
guns. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And he says they're women and children hysterical, like. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. So I'm gonna pull up the
What
picture.
year was that?
1955.
I can't wait to see this.
So
1955?
Show me that picture.
Oh, it's gonna look like an alien. I already know.
It is alien.
I
That's
told
all
you.
alienistic.
But it's weirder than alien.
It was probably
Well, let me
just
tell you.
offensive.
Also,
Oh,
Also,
that was offensive.
What
there
was
was. You're getting me canceled, you guys. This is Becky's fault.
it?
No, but someone said that it was owls.
What?
Someone was trying to say that what they were seeing and what they were shooting at were
Was it
owls.
owls?
What?
It just happened to be on my door right there, so I said that. But here,
Oh,
this is
oh,
what.
That's plum pretty.
Isn't it?
That
Oh,
looks real
yeah.
good above my bed.
Actually, I feel.
Right as a headboard on my bed.
So if it goes missing, you know where it's at.
I thought I had the owls or the here. Oops. Whoops. What am I doing? Okay. It's like I've never done that. Look at that. That's why they were saying they kind of
Oh.
think that it looks like an owl. No,
It's
those
kinda-
are awful pictures.
Bro, that looks definitely like an alien.
No, this is not the right.
Whoa, what are you all? Those are
What
aliens.
the heck? What in the tarnation is that? What you been looking at on there?
That climax
Okay.
cave. Oh yeah, see like this.
Oh,
These
ain't
ones?
that cute? That's plum cute. It's so ugly. It's cute, ain't it? Look at it.
See?
Oh my gosh.
You think it's cute?
I could make a little stuffed animal out of that.
You want to? It got pics. Look at
Look.
that.
It does look some pics.
Look at them long arms and stuff.
The arms are to the
Could you imagine
my
seeing
God.
this though?
Yeah, that's weird.
Like it says, like little green man goblin. So is
No
it
nose.
alien or is it
Nose.
goblin?
No nose. Look at it. Would you look at that?
But yeah. So that's the little green man right
It looks
there.
like a estranged butterfly with the tentacles on top of its head.
The one
It
where
reminds me of an axolotl.
does it?
Yeah.
Axolotl.
Well,
This
hell, I don't
one
know how
does.
to pronounce it.
Oxalotl.
Look, it does kind of look like that one does.
It's an
for sure.
oxalotl?
Oxalotl.
Really?
It
Are you
does
sure?
have an A. It is
Becky,
with
I
an
think
A.
you're wrong here. No, I think you might.
Look, I own two. but
It's
I don't-
kind of cute.
I don't know
Look
how
at
to
look
say
at
it.
that. Go back and look at that.
You think that's cute?
That's so cute. It's ugly, ain't it? It couldn't be any cuter.
Sounds like everyone talking about their kids.
No, yeah.
She wants one of those.
I kind of do.
Yeah.
Get an oxalotl, and you'll be good to go.
All right, but that's it. That's the episode of what I wanted you guys on here.
Wow.
I called it Wild Kentucky because it was about the crazy laws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
That's
whatever
good.
that second portion was, I don't even remember anymore.
Hauntings.
Oh yeah, like the
Electric
haunted
County.
places.
All the
We need to go
hates.
do the Richmond house.
Richmond.
The Richmond
Whitehall?
the Whitehall
Mm.
Yeah,
mansion
just tell
house.
people where you live. That's fine.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it was.
I can't
fun.
wait to talk more.
Yeah, she wants to come back already.
Like, when's our next one? The next.
Oh,
Next
you guys
week.
got any questions for Onita and Becky, and I'll bring them back on for a part 2. Is that what's
Part
happening?
2, please.
Part 2, please. All right,
Yeah.
well, that's it. So on Like Mother, Like Murder, the way that we end the episode, Heather and I always say some sort of nonsense. I recap the episode. I say something about being safe out there. Don't hang out with the little green man.
Right.
Don't go to the Bobby Mackeys. You know,
Right.
don't do these things. Whatever.
Catch
And
me there.
then I say, all right, I'll talk to you guys next Tuesday. Kay, love you. Bye. So
Okay, love you. Bye.
there.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Yay! All right, that's all.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.